Welcome.
Happy Monday.
Happy Nationalism Day.
Happy Champions
Champions, definitely.
Day week.
Well, it's nationalism, but I'm wearing the wrong shirt because
God.
obviously we're our own nation, Hannah, as
The
we found out
nation.
today.
Oh, yeah.
The nation of lower league look.
It's been. I mean, it's not. Being called a nationalist was not something that was on my bingo card for today.
And then having them double down on that, it was not on mine either. I kind of wanted the person to come on because I want them to I want them to explain to me what a nationalist is.
I think in
I've
the
changed my camera
context,
back.
it was anti-American, wasn't it?
Here's the thing. Are Americans not the most nationalist people on earth?
Yeah, very much so.
It was what a wild day. I mean, I can't complain because I did do it on purpose.
Well, also, you know, we've got Twitter Blue, so it's been a very lucrative day for the Nation Lower League look.
Yeah, we've made money today. And genuinely, like I posted about rattling people and people responded going, oh, it's just a typical response when you've been called out. But genuinely, I messaged you first thing this morning as soon as I posted it and went, just letting you know.
I enjoy those messages. Like, maybe just, you know, mute your phone.
Yes, well, literally what I said. I said, mute your phone. I'm wound Wrexham fans up. I've turned all notifications off and I'm going to work. And then in middle of the afternoon, I got a message. Well, sorry, middle of the morning, I saw your message and Harry's message. And I was like, oh, this has gone wild. And it had. But it took a turn, which is brilliant.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to going to Wrexham on Saturday.
Well, I did actually think that right after I posted it.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, but do you know what? It kind of is what it is at this stage. It's like one last hurrah before they do go up. And they have gone up, and you know, congratulations for going up. It's
back-to-back promotions is something that Tranmere that hasn't been done since Tranmere Rovers a few years ago. So it is it is historical.
So congratulations, Wrexham. You are almost Tranmere.
I didn't think that was maybe the compliment that you intended it to be.
I didn't intend it to be.
I know.
All hail our supreme leader and head of state of the nation of lower league look. One thing that I am going to say, Hannah, is that I was impulsive before we started. I've ordered dessert.
All right.
And it's on its way.
I've got 2 cans of Diet Coke and some dried apricots. That's as wild as it gets here.
You're going to be fuming when mine gets here. Yeah.
I'm just trying to imagine what the corrupt mind of Liam Chew might have come up with for...
Did you just full name me?
Yes.
And well, that's another thing. Just going back to the Wrexham situation. Someone's been posting my hometown on Twitter.
Well, I did really enjoy earlier when inevitably the Donny fans made it about them and we're talking about your employment status.
Well, that was the same person who seems to, that was a racist Doncaster fan who still seems to think that I don't have a job despite working 50, 60 hours a week.
I can confirm that as I get, hour by hour updates.
As I stand in dog shit daily.
Yeah.
Hannah gets dog shit updates. But, in a completely, we're talking about Americans. No, in fact, no, I'm not going to go down that route, Hannah. I was going to tie it into the Donny thing, but I'm not going to. I'm going to save that for another day. But it's been a wild 12 hours. It's been fun. Some people really, really, really can't take a joke, which...
And the really funny thing is that we were talking last night about my viral tweet of the weekend, which was coming in at the time at something at like 240,000 views and 200 and something likes, and you're like, hold my drink.
Yeah.
And this is what we have now. So
yeah, and now Mansfield fans are jumping in on it. We've got the Mansfield groundsman going head to head with a Wrexham fan at the minute, which is another thing that I never expected to actually happen from it. I knew it'd get some bites on a Monday morning. It's a beautiful way to start the week. But yeah, this has been absolutely insane. Just looking through the comments here. So Hannah, let's just say it. Look, Wrexham fan, congratulations, Stockport.
I'm sure they do, and then I think there's probably a good, like I said it all season, there was an extremely high chance that that's what would happen. They will very much want to finish second. Paul Mullin is a couple of goals, I think, off top scorer in the league. Yeah. Maybe 4. I can't remember.
I didn't think it was that close.
Is 1 clean sheet off. Well, no, he's 1 clear of Bass for Golden Gloves. So he wasn't out on Saturday night. So
right, he's 4 off his Mullin and tied with Matt Smith.
Yeah.
Who, I mean, look, being brutally honest, considering the season Salford have had, the fact that Matt Smith's got 25 goal contributions is insane.
Yeah. Well, we said this last night. Stockport County have had 21 different scorers this season. Yeah. And the goal was 15 different scorers. So, I think it represents the squad depth, the strength of the squad. But also, when you have got these really significant individual contributors, you become very reliant on them. And Salford finishing it, they're in 20th at the moment. I genuinely didn't expect that at the beginning of the season. They've had a horrible year.
Yeah. This is, I kind of mentioned this when I was at Salford the other week. The 3 teams that didn't go up in the playoffs last year have taken 3 very different paths this year. You stuck by your manager. We let ours go early. They held on to theirs probably a little bit too long. But, the safe, they're going to fight another day. We are somehow still in with a shot. And I don't know how. If we beat Barrow tomorrow, Saturday will be so interesting from a crowd perspective, because we've obviously had lower crowds because people have been boycotting things. If we go into Saturday knowing that we could win and pick up a playoff spot, I think the crowd will be quite.
You're at home on Saturday.
Yeah, home to Newport, who've lost 8 on the bounce.
Yeah,
Barrow are in horrific form. Newport are in horrific form.
Yeah.
Question for Leon: do you think that Wrexham will do a guard of honour for Stockport? That's the topic at the minute. Good evening to Fife, and Charles says he speaks to a lot of Americans and they are national.
I don't know. I know that we would.
We did it. We did it for Swindon. They won the league at our place. We let them.
About it the other day. We did Leyton Orient the day that they got the trophy, and then they did it last game of the season. But I can see why they wouldn't want to. I don't really feel strongly about it. I won't be massively offended if they don't, but I think it reflects more on them than us. Although my morning started off with arguments about Dave Challoner and Mark Stott being antagonistic and disrespectful. So,
I mean, antagonistic and disrespectful. Is this from Wrexham fans?
Yeah.
This is Wrexham, whose manager once had Billy Sharp by the throat during a game.
Mark Stott had and bearing in mind, Mark Stott is the most kind of camera shy, like didn't go on the pitch on Saturday, sent his little girl down. I think she's about 11 or 12 to take the trophy onto the pitch. He has not done any interviews. He didn't go, he stayed in his seat on Saturday. And the photo, this disrespectful photo, was him with a cutout of Ryan Reynolds.
Which I think is funny, and I think Ryan Reynolds would have liked that.
Well, the thing is, I am 100% sure that there will not be a cutout of Ryan Reynolds on Mark Stott's Amazon account.
Exactly.
Someone's like, and the contrast between him and Ryan Reynolds is so wide that's why I'm sure someone will have given it to him as a joke and be like, oh, send out.
I want to see the Mark Stott cutout in Ryan Reynolds' office.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Speaking of Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, have you seen?
Yes. I mean, it's the crossover that everyone needs. But they've been doing that the whole time. Like, there was stuff in Deadpool's, was it Office or something? There was like a picture of Paul Mullen with a heart round it, wasn't there, or something? And then stuff on the wall, like when they've been doing these teaser trailers.
Yeah, but Ollie Palmer is in the film.
Yeah, but why not? He's a Disney character, isn't he? So it's like a Marvel crossover.
Think of other words. Welcome to Wrexham Series 3. Starts early May. For anyone interested, no one cares. No, I'm joking. People do care. I don't watch it.
Percy.
Yeah, I've never watched it. I tried to watch it, and I think the irritating thing for me came from the first few episodes where it was kind of like it was built as we always wanted to buy Wrexham. We knew Wrexham were the project, and it's like, no, you didn't. We know full well you didn't. Hartlepool were the first one, and there was Gillingham. Who else was there? There was another one down south that used Colchester used them, didn't they, to get a better sponsorship deal? Like, there were so many teams, and there's no issue with that being the situation, but again, painting it for what it is. It's
a few people have said to me recently, oh, it must be good for the lower leagues in general. It must raise awareness about Stockport and Notts County. I genuinely don't think it does, because when there were, and I've got friends in America who have, absolutely adore Wrexham. They ask me, how you can get tickets when you come over and all of this. But when you say, oh, you support Stockport County, it's just a transient mention in the story. I don't think it, has had any kind of financial benefit for other clubs in the league, but maybe that will come.
And I don't think anyone from that's tuned into that and has followed because of that documentary will next season be paying attention to what happens in League Two.
No,
it's not going to happen. I agree, Marshall. They've got to do the Guard of Honour. They've got to. But it's the lack of congratulatory tweets and things like that.
Well, this was what caused the arguments that I had this morning. And I don't normally enter into kind of Twitter discussions, but I had a headache and I was in a bad mood, and Sophie was off school. And that someone said to me, well, that you must be able to see the difference between the last two seasons, because they were very effusive in their congratulations about Notts County at the end of season 2, which was really, really lovely and a nice kind of end to the series. But they, he's filming Deadpool. They're doing the writers' strike. They've got a lot going on. Like, no, I don't think. Someone said to me, has anyone else congratulated Stockport County? And I was like, well, yeah, I've heard it in interviews, like Nigel Clough said. He was lovely about Stockport. But yeah, like, again, it doesn't, I'm not precious about it. I only got brought up because someone said, oh, I'd rather my club behaved by congratulating people. I was like, oh, must have missed that this time.
Yeah. I mean, look, you can understand being disappointed, and to be fair, they should be disappointed. They should be by rights, they should be fuming. Not fuming, but someone else said it earlier. They believe any manager other than Parkett walks this league. They said his tactics and his stubbornness has cost them the title, and I tend to agree. I do think he is very, very stubborn in what he does, and there is only really kind of one set of tactics for him, and he has maintained that. I mean, look, it's worked overall, but yeah, they shouldn't be giving you a guard of honor on Saturday because they should be winning the league themselves.
Yeah,
look at the money; it should be.
Stacey and I have talked about this a lot, and both of us were very much in the camp, just want promotion, don't care about the league. But that's not representative of the entire fan base. And that's where like a lot of the animosity came from today, that the kind of the intersectionality between the ones that, just wanted promotion and genuinely didn't care about winning the league, and then the ones who were, no, HMS pissed the league, and posting on the 22nd of June last year saying that they were going to win it on the last game of the season. And not all fan bases are equal. Not everyone has the same aims and objectives for a season. And not one isn't wrong, one isn't right. So diplomatic. Paul's right. And this has been my point all season.
But it's irritating. Yeah, it's irritating to kind of, from my perspective, we had more fans against Colchester last season, Carlisle, Leyton Orient. Like we had, look, thumbs up. It's even agree with me.
What the hell's that?
I did a thumbs up, and the iPad agreed and did it with me. I don't know how it works, but from our perspective, so many teams in this league brought more to Bradford than Wrexham.
But I think
and got away with better results.
Yeah, like the ones that I saw them at Salford, obviously seen them at Stockport, and there is a kind of a buzz around it, and the players are familiar to you because you've seen them all. For some people, they've seen them on TV, and it's everyone's cup final at home because they've got a very decent home attendance. Everyone wants to.
I'm going to run to the door. I'm going to run to the door. You're on your own for 30 seconds.
Crikey.
Talk to the comments.
I want to hear, Harry, you can text me if it's easier, what the Mansfield fans' conspiracy theory talk is. So part of this as well was someone mentioning that the Accrington Stanley game, which Mansfield should have walked anyway, given how their form was at the moment, Accrington Stanley's form, was postponed due to a waterlogged pitch, but it was some kind of, I don't know, attempt at shithousery or not to have the game on, to presumably give Mansfield some kind of benefit. Also, Heath, where have you been? I've been back for bloody ages. He will come back though with really nice food. Is it true Mansfield are doing an open bus parade? Don't know. Are you, Leon? Like Harry might be. We've got one on Sunday, and then it's like 2 years ago. It ends in the ground, and they have no, that's Charlie. He doesn't know. Mansfield are doing an open bus parade. Well, credit to them. They've had 11 years of pain. Right, we've covered all sorts. Heath apparently didn't know I was back.
Hey, Heath. It's been a long time.
It has. It was when I came back. It was when I came back from America with my nationalistic agenda.
Views, yeah. Hey, thanks for tuning in every week, though. That's always good to know. I might have ordered too much, Hannah.
What have you got?
So, first of all, I've got a milkshake. Now, I can't remember what the milkshake is. I think, I'll tell you. Oh, what the hell is that? Dime bar.
Okay.
Don't sound too excited.
Hannah, Tully and Mansfield are creating conspiracy theories.
What's your conspiracy theory?
I don't know.
Harold?
He's not sad. He's just sad. But They
And then
exist.
that's the wrong one.
Oh my god!
So
Is this a multi-component, like some kind of Heston Blumenthal deconstructed thing? Is that a muffin?
no, it is a Rolo cookie cup.
They don't have those in Stockport.
No, but they have League Two championships, and I know what I'd prefer.
We've got pies.
A Rolo cookie cup.
Right, right. Hang on. I know this isn't League Two related, and there's only 376 people and 77 people. So, right, Harry.
Yeah. Right. So.
Right. What's the cookie cup? Just quickly, because I need to know.
It's basically a cookie. The cup's made of cookie, and inside it's got Rolo, caramel, chocolate. It's quite good.
The fans are saying there's a conspiracy theory that the officials went against Mansfield and cheated.
When?
I don't know. Is the Accrington game? I don't know. It's. Do you know what? I'm kind of done like this.
Should we talk football, Hannah?
Yeah.
Should we talk football? Kind of why we're here. So
pitch, like on the pitch football, and like
and not weather events. We're not talking weather events. We're just talking actual football. No. So
but weather events can be regional. They can be very localized.
But not in. They don't happen in Mansfield.
No. Yeah, you can have microclimates. That can happen. It could be beautiful in Bradford and shit in Halifax.
It cannot.
But for the sake of my argument,
it's never been beautiful in Bradford. So right, I want to talk about Bradford. Because
there's a surprise. Oh God, let's go back to Wrexham.
Someone said earlier there was a post and it had like the 5-6 teams involved in the playoffs, and it said who's making it, and it was like Crewe, Barrow, Crawley, Doncaster, Walsall, Bradford, and there were so many comments going, "Where the fuck have Bradford come from?" And then there were Bradford fans responding, going, "We don't know." Like even we don't know where this has come from, and we like being completely honest, it kind of does highlight how poor the overall league has been this year. The fact that we have had the season that we've had, and we're still in with 2 games to go, we still have a chance. Like, I mean, look, on Saturday, we went 2-0 down very early on. 16 minutes in, we were 2-0 down. We were poor the first 15, 20 minutes. 19th minute, Andy Cook scores against his old team, which it's going to happen. They went 2-0 up and they were giving him abuse. So, obviously he was then going to score. He scored. And then just from there, we kind of took over. It was ours. The entire thing was ours. And, we won 3-2. Some would say the best comeback of the weekend. Some would disagree. But they're Donny fans.
Wasn't there another one? Who was there was another really good
one. Doncaster did a little one.
Yeah. I mean, we've had lots of chats about Doncaster, like on the 606 on here over the last few weeks. They're not running out of steam in the same way that Barrow, Crawley to a certain extent, definitely Crewe have. Is this not the dessert of dreams that you were hoping for?
I don't know what I've ordered. There's ice cream with it, but I can't work out what that ice cream is, Hannah. I'm gonna have a look while we're still talking.
Ian says rain forecast for Barrow. Is that tomorrow night? Oh, so you might be playing on Thursday at this rate.
Well, so this is the thing. This is the thing I was going to come on to. So there's heavy rain forecast in Barrow. If the game's called off tomorrow, I think we have to go back Wednesday, and then Thursday, and then Friday. And I think by Friday it would be a case of we have to find an alternative solution.
Well, I was going to say play darts, but they're really good at darts, aren't they, Barrow?
Yeah. I think there's a potential if tomorrow's called off, and Marshall, if you're still watching, you might know whether this is possible. a training ground match, a behind closed doors game at Barrow's training ground or at Bradford's training ground, just to get the game done. That's all I can think of.
Oh no, I was going to use Halifax as the example, but Halifax is National League, isn't there? So it might be different rules, but they've played at Chesterfield, they played at Accrington Stanley, they played all over the place. Yeah.
9 a.m. kickoff on a Saturday morning.
A double header.
In Barrow, everyone on the bus, back down to Bradford.
For the second game, you'd have to like turn the pitch around and have both games, like Saturday football for kids.
Yeah, Marshall says not possible. So, Marshall, what are the options then? Like, if the game's called off tomorrow night, obviously it has to be concluded by 5 p.m. Saturday. All games have to be done. So, would it be an awarded 3 points to Barrow?
If it's an EFL graded ground, presumably they'd get on the phone and ring Stockport County or whoever else hasn't got a game on Saturday and hasn't started their intensive pitch stuff.
It can't be Saturday though. We're playing as well.
Or
could it be held at Bradford, Marshall? Could it actually be held at Bradford?
If everyone agrees, presumably. But that would give some advantage, wouldn't it? Whereas a neutral ground, maybe less so.
It'll end up being Accrington, won't it? Accrington's, it's near to where they train and based out of, and it's not far from us.
Burnley.
Imagine playing at Burnley. No, let's go Burnley. Fuck it, Etihad. Ryan Sparks, if you're watching this, get on to Man City. We'll play it at the Etihad. We'll get more fans than a Man City home game.
I'll come.
Yeah, but I agree with Charlie. Accrington could be the one. Huddersfield. There's a few grounds around here that have great facilities, really. But like you say, it's finding a team that aren't playing at home this coming weekend and that don't necessarily have much to play for as well.
Yeah, we've actually got Brentford Bees tomorrow night. I don't know what it is. B team academy, something or other.
Oh, is it like a counties league thing?
I don't know. No, it can't be counties, can it? Brentford.
Might be a massive county.
Maybe it's academy. Well, it's all Stockport County's world. You're just living in it.
Yeah. Charlie's saying here, obviously Halifax did Accrington.
Yeah, that John Holt was not John Holt. Andy Holt's talked a lot about that, actually, saying, talking about the supporting other clubs and allowing them to use their resources and things like that. I suppose it'll depend. They must be at home. Accrington must be at home on Saturday though, because they're obviously away to us this week.
And then at the same time, Rochdale, Oldham, season's finished. Yep, that was a comment that I loved earlier today. Yeah,
I just stuck up for you. I thought that was really lovely.
Yeah, you did. I know. Everyone who stuck up for me, I do appreciate it. It's been a wild day. This is the thing. Like Charlie's saying, you don't think they'd do it closer to Barrow, but there's not really anything. You've got Morecambe and Carlisle.
Yeah, and
that's it. And then it literally is Accrington and Burnley.
Yeah, Burnley. I was looking at Burnley yesterday because we were trying to. I've got no car after the Notts County incident, and it's like 25 minutes in the car from Burnley station to Barrow.
Is it? Is that all it is?
Yeah, I was really surprised. Yeah.
No, surely not.
Yeah, it was Burnley, wasn't it? Not Barnsley. I haven't done it again.
Well, no, Barnsley's south.
Right. Well, it's
surely not from Burnley train station to Barrow.
It was Burnley that Harry was telling me to get a train to, wasn't it?
It's not 25 minutes. Hang on. There's no way.
It was.
I'm not having that.
See, Harry says Burnley is 25 minutes away from Barrow. Yes, thank you, Harry. It was very
Harry, Burnley is 25 minutes from Manchester.
No.
I swear to God, right? If I Google this and it's right, I'll be fuming. Right, it's an hour and 35 minutes from Barrow to Burnley train station. Yes, it is.
It's a good job I didn't go on the train, isn't it?
Yeah.
Burnley. Well, I'll just take your word for it. I can't.
It's an hour and 36 minutes.
Burnley Manchester Road, is that different to normal Burnley?
No, that's what I'm doing. Burnley Manchester Road to Barrow AFC is 88 miles.
But Jake says Burnley Manchester Road is 25 minutes.
From Manchester.
No. No, it wasn't. It was anyway. This is like, it's fine. I'm not going.
There's no way you're going right.
School and stuff. And it looks like it might be off anyway, so.
Oh, yeah. Well, so yeah, but look, Bradford are still in it somehow, and I'm absolutely delighted to be able to kind of go into a final weekend with still something to play for. Obviously, last season we went in with something to play for. We needed the point against Orient, wasn't it? The final game, we got it. Yeah. Orient at home, final game. Remember, Brad Halliday scored a half volley.
So did you do a Guard of Honour then as well?
Marshall, did we do a Guard of Honour? Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
And Mansfield was in midweek then. Yes, Gavin, it's at FC United, but it's not an EFL regulated ground, so
it can't even be. It literally has to be Morecambe or Accrington, if not Barrow. Wow, this could be a really, really interesting end to the season. Because here's the thing: if Barrow was sat 10th with no chance of getting in, they'd probably just allow the game to be awarded.
Well, I think that has to be the kind of the last. Right? You try and play it tomorrow. If you can't, you try again on Wednesday. I don't know whether you try again on Thursday. And at that point, do they have to concede it? Do they? Well, no, if you can't play it Wednesday, you'd be looking for an alternative venue for Thursday, wouldn't you? Because it can't go any later than, and actually, no, hang on. It's got to be, is it 48 hours? So they'd have to play it at lunchtime on Thursday. It couldn't even be Thursday night.
Why 48 hours? I thought, because there's been
48 hours between games.
Is that an EFL rule?
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to say, because I know that there's some non-league teams that have played 6 games in 9 days.
Yeah, because our Salford game, the league game that got moved to the Thursday night, Salford played on the Sunday and we played on the Monday.
Right.
Because they both had to move. So yeah, it'd have to be earlier than 3 on Thursday. It has to be done by.
Yeah. Speaking of EFL approved, Gateshead situation is ridiculous. So Gateshead's ground is actually EFL approved, like they can get in.
Yeah.
It's not the ground, is it, that's the problem? It's the fact that they needed a 10-year guaranteed lease.
Yeah.
Which they have, but they didn't get by the 1st of March, which is the cut-off.
No. And that feels like, there could have been some leeway there.
Absolutely, because they're just, from a TV revenue perspective, BT Sport or TNT Sports, and now they've got one less game to show.
Yeah.
In the playoffs.
Yeah. And it was the way that it was like they upset so many different teams yesterday with the messing about. First it was Solihull were getting a bye, then it's Altrincham, because because it was Altrincham, the Solihull that was supposed to be playing Gateshead. They just kind of took Gateshead out of the equation rather than going back to the league table and kind of and look, because the National League, for those of you who are less familiar with it than me, have like, so first goes up, and then you get like a buy-in swarm into the semi-final almost, and then it's like,
it's a 16 playoff, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a weird setup.
Yeah.
And this is a game 3 up, 3 down has to. I know clubs in League Two are never going to vote for it, but 3 up, 3 down needs to be considered at this stage, because there's so many teams in the National League that have the setups ready to kind of go for league football, and then there's so many in League Two that don't.
Yeah.
And that really, aren't going to ever progress forward, but because only 2 go down, they never get stuck in it. And yeah, it's a really, there always seems to be a basket case team.
Yeah.
As we all know, it's Forest Green this season.
Yeah. It's I really feel for them, and obviously this is a team that were in the FA Trophy final last season. They've had Ethan Pye was with them.
And this season, aren't they?
Pardon? Were they this season as well?
No, I think it's the 11th of May.
Oh, is it?
Because they tweeted out saying we're still going to Wembley. Let me just check.
Oh, yeah, because we got Ethan Pye back to play in the playoff final, maybe semi as well, I can't remember. And he has come back a completely different player. He's been brilliant. Nominated for League Two Young Player of the Season. He'll likely be our Young Player of the Season.
So they're in the final. They're in the final. Nice. Guess who they're playing?
Solihull.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. Solihull on the 11th of May.
Shit, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's a Solihull Gateshead final. Do you know what? If you're close, if you're not far, go to it. Support them, because they've been. I get where the EFL are coming from. This has never happened before, has it?
No.
But like you say, there's a little bit of leeway, surely, where they can go. Before the playoffs were even decided, they knew that they had permission. They knew they had the ground. Let's just play it on as not. No one would have ever known. Fifey there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Swindon do need all the help.
I remember, like, when we went up, I remember thinking exactly the same. Like, no, now that we're up, I want to, minimize the chances of us going back down as much as possible. And that's the problem, isn't it? You're asking turkeys to vote for Christmas.
Jake's back.
I saw that. Jake's so sensible.
Jake, Burnley Station is 20 minutes away from Barrow, a different Barrow. Burnley Station is 1 hour 30 from Barrow in Furness, where Barrow AFC plays. So don't get the train to Barrow, as you'll miss kickoff.
In fairness, my geography isn't brilliant, but even I was incredibly surprised that it was 24 minutes away. Because I remember it taking. I wasn't sure whether I misremembered where Burnley was or where Barrow was, but yeah.
No, Burnley's just north of Manchester, isn't it? It's just north of Bury and Bolton. And,
yeah.
I like Bury. Sorry, Burton. I do like. Sorry, Burnley. I like Burnley a lot. Harry's not clever. We get it. Yeah.
Well, it's all right. I mean, I didn't exactly cover myself in glory, so
I did. But yeah, look, I mean, right, let's talk about other stuff that went on in League Two this weekend. Let's talk about that Donny game, because being brutally honest, from a Bradford perspective, it's a good result.
Yeah.
Like, Donny have done us a favour, because they've, like, Barrow's morale has got to be on the floor right now. And I'm ignoring Harry's comment. So while Barrow's morale is on its arse, it gives us the chance to kind of do something about it and keeps us alive. I must admit, when I saw it was 2-0, I was like, it had to be it. had to be Barrow. Charlie's asked, did Doncaster affect our running? No, not really. We just need Barrow to lose both games. Obviously, we play them, and then they've got Mansfield on Saturday. And we need Crawley to only pick up a draw, and then we can get in. It doesn't matter what Donny do. At this stage, we
I think all credit to Donny. They've had a fantastic end to the season. It's like everything has clicked, both with what McCann's tried to do since, because he talked about, when I remember, I think it was after the game at Harrogate, early on in the season, he was very much, I need everyone to be patient, kind of, I've got a plan, and the discussion that spawned all these arguments about Donny in October, November was kind of, how long do you be patient for? In terms of, they have at times kind of flirted towards relegation positions. And at that time, I think everyone below them and above them had a manager.
Yeah.
So I think the January transfer window was really significant for them, and they are going to be players that McCann has selected as opposed to what he inherited to a certain extent. Although he was well in for the August transfer window, wasn't he?
Who?
McCann.
What do you mean well in?
As in, he was in position.
Oh, you came in June, July time, yeah.
When
Schofield went back in the season, yeah, pretty much, yeah. As soon as it went, McCann, and I've seen this a few times today, Hannah. McCann to Barnsley is a rumor, but it's always going to be a rumor when you're looking at like a League One club that's looking for a manager. They're going to look for the most informed managers, so he was always going to be in that list.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything in it, but if I'm Barnsley,
I
don't think he'd go.
Barnsley have got a game to play and then potentially the playoffs. So on the face of it, it seems like an odd decision, but at the same time, they have been so much better and have dropped off, and they're going to want someone that can make a difference very, very quickly.
Yeah. Hughes to Barnsley. Do you know what? So, all right. Actually, Harry's got a question. I haven't read it, and I put it on the screen already, so I'm regretting this. Who do you think out of the underperforming teams this season has the potential to do what Stevenage did? You mean next season? It's like, who has the potential to?
Well, Crawley nearly did it this season.
Crawley did nearly do it this season.
Where, I know they've kind of dropped off very recently, but they've been brilliant. Colchester.
I think Salford.
Yeah.
They've already shown they can do it.
Yeah.
They've got a manager now, got them on that decent run. Wrexham, yes. Wrexham are the new Stevenage. I love that comment. I chuckled to myself so much whilst writing it. And the thing is, it's like you said when you responded to me, and like so many of the Wrexham fans won't have got what I meant. They just won't have understood it, which makes it even funnier. So, yeah, you know, there's so many teams that could push on. Grimsby.
Yeah.
Another one.
They've clicked a little bit. But honestly, we're supposed to be talking to the Cowleys in the next few weeks, but they are now.
I spoke to them a couple of days ago.
They're now mathematically safe.
They're not.
Oh, aren't they? I thought they were. Well,
no, they can still go down.
Yes, they could. But
you think about it, if Donny put 4 past Colchester tomorrow.
Yeah, and then Sutton win like 4-0.
Well, no. If Sutton win, If Donny put 4 past Colchester tomorrow and Colchester lose 2-0 or more on Saturday and Sutton get a win, Colchester are down.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's very, very likely as well, as bad as it sounds. But yeah, look, I spoke to both the Cowleys and Dave Artell in the last couple of days. Obviously, both have been kind of down there. I'm glad that it looks like both are going to survive, because that was a really awkward conversation. Not as awkward as my conversation with Steve Cotterill. Because genuinely, like, even though he's not to blame for what happened, you can tell that he feels like it's on him. But to speak about Dave Artell and about Grimsby, it's going to be a massive summer for him, what he's looking at doing, which is good. They need a clear out. They've had too many players. They had a team that should have been challenging this season, and they had too many players that just didn't perform. But Harry's saying too early for predictions, but based on managers and setup, Colchester, Cheltenham, Carlisle will be top 3 next season. I can't. Right, here's the thing. I thought about this earlier. I can't get behind anybody backing Carlisle, given their season they've had. If they'd flirted with safety and just been pulled into the relegation battle, but put up a big effort to stay up, then I could see. But they've not. They've been the team to go down all season. Like, for me, I think Carlisle are in trouble.
But a lot is changing behind the scenes in the same way that the same way that it changed when the Gallinsons came in at Gillingham. That said, that's not gone the way we expected it to this season either.
Exactly, and you'd think, with the amount of changes that they've got to face, plus a new league, that's going to take a hell of a lot of time to adjust. And that's why I don't think that they'll be there. I don't think that they'll be that that team next season. Maybe the season after. But there's already Carlisle fans that have been saying that they're giving until the end of August. And if they're not where they want to be, then Simo has to go.
They'll also have what happened to Morecambe, particularly last season. When you come down, you lose players because they don't want to drop down a league. And that's
and then they end up dropping down a league anyway in Cole Stockton.
Yeah.
And signing for your rivals.
Yeah.
Jake saying Carlisle will sign big, though. Carlisle signed big this season.
Yeah, they did. They've got Luke Armstrong,
Harry Lewis. And genuinely, it's like I love Harry Lewis, and not just as a goalkeeper when he was at Bradford, but just him as a person. Like, I got on so well with Harry Lewis. But just watching the highlights, and like I get, like, at times we've had a shaky defense, but last season we had a solid defense. We had Critchlow, Matty Platt, Stubbs came in. He has a very shit defense in front of him, and you can see how much his confidence is kind of built upon having a solid foundation in front of him. I really don't think that Harry Lewis has financially, he's made the right move. His baby's due in just over a month, so he obviously had that to take into consideration. But I don't think that Harry Lewis, performance-wise, has stepped up. It's going to be hard to go into a team like that.
It goes both ways as well, doesn't it? I remember, like, when Okonkwo started at Wrexham, it elevated the team because the defenders were more confident in that kind of last line of defense. And if, like, for Harry Lewis, it'll almost be self-fulfilling that he's not confident who's in front of him, they're not confident in him, and it's something that'll only come in time. And I mean, their fans say, they weren't ready to go up. They were 7 minutes away from not going up.
They were even less than that when they played us. But I mean, it is what it is. Look, it's been a learning curve for them. We'll see what happens. Maybe it's humbled them a little bit.
Maybe.
Ian's question: who will be in the playoff final and who will win it? So
There's like a multi-level question there, because the first question is who's going to be in the playoffs. I don't even know the answer to that, let alone who's going to be in the playoffs final.
Can you imagine if what I said last night comes true?
I mean,
after the season that we've had.
Well, after the day that I've had on social media.
So my theory, and like it's obviously it's the longest shot possible, but if Donny win tomorrow and Saturday, they'll finish 6th, possibly 5th, depending on goal difference. But either way, it means that they would play Crewe in the first leg or the semis. If Bradford won both their games and snuck in, we'd play MK Dons. It could be a Donny Bradford final, which after the season, both being brutally honest, after the if you looked at the league table January and thought that was even a possibility, it was just never going to be a thing, was it? It was just absolutely ridiculous to even imagine and consider that would be a slight possibility, and it really is a possibility.
What though?
Hannah, can we just address that comment there? 6 points guaranteed for Wrexham next season if Bradford go up. Yeah, just like the 6 points you got this season from Bradford.
If Donny went up though, think how quiet your 606s would be. You've got no Wrexham fans to bait and no Donny fans to bait.
This is why I'm hoping that Swindon stop being such a fucking basket case, and I can go after them. Yeah, I'm going to go after Chesterfield.
That's an easy. They're volatile.
So are Notts County, and I feel like Notts County have slipped under my radar this season because of Wrexham.
Well, because we had Sally as well, and Sally was just incredibly lovely and incredibly smart. And but she said herself that she not heard from her for months, and it's because she's kind of struggled with how their season's gone, and she hasn't really wanted to talk about it, which is entirely fair. Yeah,
it tailed off massively, didn't it? And then the other one. Let's be brutally honest. Bradford are always going to be wherever I am. And it's just so. Do you know what? Something I actually said earlier. I know I'm coming back to the Wrexham thing, but the Wrexham fans who tweeted and quote tweeted me and said Bradford have spent 15 million in 6 years since coming down to this league. We've spent 6.7 and got out. First of all, 6.7 was what you spent in the National League.
Because this year hasn't been,
There's no way you haven't spent more this year. You have to have spent more. So I'd say probably about 8 million for Wrexham this season.
Yeah,
that's one season. They compared Bradford's 5 years at 15 million to Wrexham's 1 year at what they claim 6.7, but it's more. And do you know how? Well, we all know how Bradford fans feel about me. They don't like me, which I'm fine with. I accept. Do you know how disliked you have to be as a fan base for the Bradford fans to get on my side?
Yeah.
Like when I saw the quote tweet and he put hashtag put BCAFC, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. And there were loads of comments and I clicked it. And every comment was just calling him out. And I'm like, how bad of an opinion do you need to have for Bradford fans to go, oh, we'll side with him? But even like Harry says, Mansfield fans, same. Like they've not liked me all year, but today, and it's just being brutally honest. Look, and this is not every Wrexham fan. Please don't think this is every Wrexham fan. There have been some lovely Wrexham fans that I've met, and there's been loads that I've enjoyed interacting with. But there's been such a portion that have been poison. Being completely honest, they've been awful. They've been arrogant. They've been knobheads. They've had absolutely no respect for everything in the league. I know you wanted to talk, Hannah, but I'm on a rant here. And my point is, I'm glad to see the back of Wrexham for those guys alone, because they're now someone else's problem. Yours, Hannah.
But yes,
but they're going to humble.
They are also the majority of Wrexham fans' problems. And you get that a lot in terms of they might be very vocal, but they're not representative of the wider
The majority. Absolutely.
and they get as irritated with them, maybe not to quite the same degree, but they get very irritated by some of their opinions. And
here's the thing, it's all well and good getting back-to-back promotions with double the budget of your nearest team. Top end of League One's a different gravy in terms of money.
Oh yeah, you've got clubs like Rotherham.
Yeah, that's 6.7 million that you spent, which is an astronomical amount. That's a small budget for a top end League One, but that's a tiny budget for a top end League One club. I think I remember, wasn't it Derby that was spending? Wasn't their budget something like 18 million in League One a few years ago when they had troubles?
I don't know if there's still many Wrexham fans in here. I genuinely don't know the answer. What's Wrexham's academy set up like? Because until they have a kind of funnel coming through of talent, they're going to have to keep making these expensive purchases. That sounds a bit of a commodity, doesn't it? They can't be like your Peterboroughs and make profit from selling players on. They're going to have to buy in without that sustainability angle. Yeah.
Personally, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, and I this is why I kind of always say that there is this. There's Wrexham fans that just get it. Like, the National League is fucking horrible, and then you look at what's gone on at Wrexham and it's shit, and the fact that you were in the position you were in is shit, and now you're kind of coming back. It's great, just enjoy it. But it's the vocal ones, and they are the most vocal, but they aren't the majority.
No.
But unfortunately, Bradford, perfect example. The Bradford fans put polls out about renewing season tickets a month or so ago. If you go by that poll, 80% of Bradford fans weren't renewing season tickets. We've announced 12,000 sold already.
I saw that, yeah.
Which is less than last season, but you'd expect it to be less than last season.
Cost of living crisis and
we were in the playoffs last season. Yeah. We're in the playoffs last season. Coming into this season, we still had Mark Hughes. We have gone backwards this year unless we get into it.
What has there been a price increase?
Yes. Yeah.
A significant
price increase as well. Yeah. £50.
Okay.
Yeah, £200 for a family of four increase. It's an extra season ticket from what it has been for a family of four.
But I mean, I know that you would, in the past have been really passionate about the cost of Bradford's season tickets. They might have been fair, but they weren't market rate.
They're still below market rate.
Yeah.
We're still below market rate. We're still one of the cheapest in the league. And this is where, got to take hats off to the club. They've come out and said that the increase is because of the cost of living. It's because of the increase in bills and things like that. Yeah. The fact that we've gone 2 seasons. We do. But the fact that we've gone 2 seasons without an increase during this is a credit. I think that the fact that we've managed to keep that away from the fans. Unfortunately, we've got to a point we have to. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what ours is going to be like, because there's a League One jump. There's a stadium redevelopment starting in January, so they're going to lose capacity. So at the moment, like, Charlotte and Sophie's season tickets are free. Kids' season tickets generally are only about £50. I mean, I can't, like, if I was Tom Marn, who's the CEO, I think I'd be struggling to justify giving away free tickets if I'm going to lose whatever the capacity of the railway end is in January.
Plus, you're selling out, aren't you?
Pardon?
You're selling out, aren't you?
Yeah, obviously.
You can't justify giving away free tickets at that point. It all depends on how much they want to keep it a community club, I suppose.
Yeah, and like the defence in the past has always been they've got these massive programs and have had for years and years and years where
Sorry, Hannah, that was fucking rank.
Oh, great. Where they give away free tickets to kids at school. School children, local schools. I mean, would I have bought? I think I probably would have bought a season ticket for Charlotte. Sophie probably wouldn't have had one because she doesn't.
She probably wouldn't have wanted one really as much, would she? She wouldn't have been as bothered.
No. But I would have. So that was the first last season they did that again, and then I was expecting to pay for it, but it was free again. That's why we're one of the reasons we're in the stand that we're in.
Yeah, and I think there's always going to be increases at some stage. Like Charlie's mentioned there, that price increase is in order to cover some costs, and Rupp's saying he'll invest further. Yeah, I think Rupp will invest this summer. And not going to go with what Charlie said at the end there, but I do think that for me, the investment doesn't need to be on the pitch because the budget that we get is more than enough to give us a good enough squad. The investment needs to be the pitch.
Sorry, I muted myself because I'm still so what happened last week was Thursday night. I was at work in London and we had a barbecue on the terrace and I inhaled an awful lot of smoke and came back with a cough. And then Saturday inhaled more flare smoke than is natural for a woman of my age. And that has I am not in a healthy lung at the moment.
A healthy lung moment. But yeah, no, I think from my perspective, our investment has to be the pitch, like top, and not just a relaying of the pitch. It's probably going to cost $1.5 million to $2 million, and that's just me ballparking. But we need to rip it up, dig out the issues under it.
Yeah, it's drainage, isn't it?
We don't have drainage. Being completely honest, we have drainage, but it's not what people think is drainage. It's not like if someone says to me we've got drainage, I think we have somewhere for the water to go and then pipes that run it off.
Right.
That's not what we're talking about. And I think we do that. We put that investment in. We dig out these pitch issues have been constant. Well, since the beginning, they've always been a problem. Unfortunately, the ground was built on what was a quarry.
Right.
So you can imagine what's under there. Dig it out, start from scratch, and for Stefan Rupp, who's obviously wanting to recoup his money, the only way to do that is to get us back to where we were, which is League One. Now, get us to League One. You don't have to get us to the playoffs in League One. Get us to League One with a better pitch and better facilities, and you then have a right to ask for that money.
Yeah,
but it's like we said probably a month ago. I think I said it to you, where buying a football club is a gamble, and right now the gamble's not paid off.
Well, they're money pits, aren't they? And that's really apparent in, I think, the first season of Welcome to Wrexham, when they come in all and from sitting in on interviews that I've had with people like David Artell, the economics of football is so incredibly intriguing to me. But that's covered really well in terms of they come in and actually now suddenly they've got a pitch to pay for, and then the pitch isn't quite right, and it's like, right, that's going to be another £400,000, and it's just constantly, it might be not a Wrexham, but then it might be something with the floodlights, and there's just this constant churn of things that need paying for. And I think actually in some ways Welcome to Wrexham is good for that, in the same way that Clarkson's Farm was good for raising awareness about the economics of farming and the issues that are affecting farmers. Because I wouldn't think about some of the unit costs of things in the past at all. You should watch it. It's genuinely.
I've watched Clarkson's Farm.
No, not Welcome to Wrexham. It's genuinely good TV.
Paul said there, wouldn't Bradford be better off moving? Yeah, we would. The issue is the only place that we can go is Odsal. Now, everything about the area of Odsal for a ground is an improvement on Valley Parade. It's on the motorway junction. We have what was Richard Dunn's opposite, which is a listed building, can't be knocked down. We could get that from the council. We could lease that from the council. That could be turned into training facilities. You know, it's got room for indoor pitches. It's got room for outdoor pitches. It's got car parking. There's food outlets around. There's plenty of on-road parking all around. The issue is Odsal Stadium is a shithole.
Right.
And it needs a lot of work doing to it. I don't think Odsal would be EFL ready at all.
No. And I mean, I suppose for you, Valley Parade is different, but also you want something so that one of the issues at Edgeley Park is that, you know, it's in a residential area, there's a reservoir behind it, there's like nature reserves, there's kind of all of that. There's not actually the space to add to that infrastructure. And so all the plans that they've got are with that in mind. And you know, if you're going to move to a stadium, then at least wants to be something. And Forest Green is doing the same, aren't they? They're moving, or were intending to, I don't know if that's still the plan, to somewhere with much better transport access, and it's right by the motorway. But it's the space that you need to be able, you know, it might be cheaper to knock it down and start again.
Yeah, well, yeah, and the other issue is that the history of the ground. You know, we've obviously the fire happened at the ground. You're not going to get a majority of Bradford fans to vote on moving. I think that Stefan Rupp has a decision to make. The lease is up in 3 years. We've got a 25-year lease. It's up in 27, 28. It may be a case of forcing the hand of the guy who owns it, who's our previous owner, who now owns Flamingo Land.
Hey,
we used to get free
Wolves play.
Odsal.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, it's at Odsal Stadium. Yeah,
right.
And obviously there's the track around the outside for the speedway and things like that, which again is, and there's no roof. There's a roof on one bit of the stand. And it's all then terracing. There's so much that would need to be done.
But
don't get me wrong.
Carvery nearby.
There's a what?
A Toby Carvery and a KFC.
There's a Toby Carvery, Dunkin' Donuts, KFC.
Tell you what, Notts County had a Dunkin' on the way in, as well as the Popeyes, which was very exciting. But Colchester have a Wendy's. A Wendy's.
That's pretty good, is that?
I was really excited. We didn't go because we didn't have time. But yeah, an actual Wendy's.
Charlie saying there, Richard Dunn's becoming training facilities is a phenomenal shout. It's something that I've thought for a while. And I don't know why not more people haven't. Richard Dunn's essentially, Hannah, was a sports centre. It was swimming baths. It had a gym, badminton pitches, five-a-side football. And then about 7-8 years ago, they shut it down and they built a new facility about half a mile down the road.
Oh, right.
They were going to knock it down, but then found out it's protected. They can't touch this building. And the thing is, it's one of the most unique buildings. If you give it a Google if you want, like the look of it, Richard Dunn Sports Centre it's such a unique building. It's just sat there. It's bang slap opposite Odsal, and it for me it makes perfect sense. It's got a huge gravel football pitch at the back, which that was what was like used for, they had like car boots and stuff on a Sunday there, but that could be laid into a football pitch for training. You've then got all the training facilities are still inside. They're good to go. Like there's so much could be done, and it could be turned into a Bradford City and Bradford Bulls sports complex.
Yeah, like a campus.
It's good to. Oh yeah, and then the ground across the road. But we need an owner that could come in and then renovate the ground. But you then, like I say, you've got to get Bradford fans on. I'm thinking, would Bradford Council be generous to Bradford and allow that with Richard Dunn's? I think they would. I genuinely think they would. Charlie said no, but I think that they would, because it's just sat there. They can't do anything with it. And Bradford are paying a lot of money to a private school to rent facilities there, which I know when Ryan Sparks did his interview a few months ago, he mentioned, and I don't think he was serious. I don't think he was as serious as it came across, but he said that we have to compete with. If the school need the training pitch halfway through the day, we have to vacate. So our training facilities, as the school can just go, sorry, and turn up with the hockey sticks and stand there and be like, off you get, Andy Cook. And
Isn't
like,
that would say someone else has that? Salford have had that
yeah,
as well.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. Yeah, so look, as someone who goes to WJ, so there you go. He goes to the school. It's bad in that sense.
Yeah.
And then the 4G pitch is what's shared, but obviously when it's shit, the pictures are shit. Then where the shit, that's what the 4G that gets used. But yeah, for me, Odsal is as a stadium. Odsal isn't ready as an area. Everything about Odsal Stadium improves Bradford. It does. And I don't know why we wouldn't even need to move to Odsal to do the facilities or the training sort of stuff. We could do that anyway because it's just as close, if not closer, to the ground as it. And like I say, it's on the motorway junctions. This is the thing for travelling fans coming in as you come off the M606 where the McDonald's is in the Toby Carvery. It's just there. Bradford really is just a place of missed investment opportunities. Yeah. Odsal is a huge money pit. Andrew's saying it is a huge money pit right now, but there's so much that could be done to improve it.
And that's the thing, isn't it? You can invest in Valley Parade, but if it's going to be one thing after the other, then yes.
Well, this is the thing. It's like it's the pitch situation. We can relay the pitch every 2 years from scratch, 300-400 grand, or we can fix the issues for 1.5 million and put a hybrid pitch in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's look, there's so many things that can be done.
We've talked about in the past the financial implications of calling off games. So in this conversation today about Mansfield and Accrington Stanley, no club wants to have a Saturday game called off because you have to replay it midweek. You have to give refunds on ticket sales, your hospitality offering, you're refunding thousands of pounds because people might not want to do it on a school night and it doesn't have the same prestige and, all of that. The financial implications of moving games is not
massive,
significant at all. So that it all kind of adds up to this cost benefit analysis, doesn't it?
Charlie's just raising there, like how much more money would that make? And genuinely, like he's saying about a sport, a complex like MK Dons, there's a McDonald's as well there. There's everything that you kind of need within such a short space, and that's already what's there. You can add to that, and like you say, you can have a club shop there. You can have all your facilities. You can, we just nothing can be done with Valley Parade. Even if we bought the ground, we can't renovate it any further. That's why we have the small stand behind the goal, the away end, because those houses behind, when we started building the big stand and then we got to the Premier League, they were approached about selling and they all wanted like 3-4 times the value of the house to leave.
Well, yeah, because that's how compulsory purchases work, don't they? You kind of...
Yeah, you dictate it, which is why we have. So we can't move any further forward with Valley Parade. And look, I love Valley Parade. I think that Valley Parade is one of the most unique grounds that in the EFL. It's weird. So if you look at it from your perspective when you're in the ground, you're looking at it Premier League. From our perspective, National League. Like that's what we see because we see the two small stands. You see the big thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Sean said way back in the 1950s we had to stand on railway sleepers at the railway end. I wonder when they were replaced, because we were talking on Saturday about the railway end at Counties, that uncovered end that they're redoing. In I guess it would have been the mid-90s, that was a home end, and I can't work out whether it was when the Cheadle end was being built or whether it was like, I remember getting slammed against it was like the terrace standing and the barrier, like the little
You remember getting what?
Getting slammed against the Barrow. There was a pitch invasion. We were playing Hull
Oh, during a game, right?
City. Right.
There's always trouble when Hull City come to town. We went to Hull City. There were trouble back in the 90s. There's always trouble at Hull.
Because I remember them saying that they were going to take your ticket stubs off you so that you couldn't buy playoff tickets, I guess it would have been, for Wembley. And then we got back to the car. My uncle's car had been broken into. It wasn't a brilliant day, all things considered.
No, definitely not. No, look, there's so many things that could be done, and I'd love to kind of try and reason with if it was an option, if Odsal was an option to look at doing, and there was a plan. And I get that people immediately will just go, no, not happening. But I'd love to kind of just sit and reason with them and have that conversation and just be like, look, let's think about the future of what we can do here. You know, we fully appreciate everything that we'd be leaving behind, but let's be brutally honest. We're at a point now that ground is a burden financially to us. The money that we put into that would make a phenomenal investment somewhere else. Especially if Odsal is still council owned, which I think it is.
Right.
It makes sense for them to see us. Look, not necessarily, I don't think Bulls pay rent, but the council wouldn't make money off it per se, in a sense of rent, but for us and the Bulls to go in and improve the facilities, is of a benefit to them to do so. And then, like we say, the other facilities across the road for training and things like that, there's so many, and in that area as well, there's so many youth teams and clubs that can operate through this. There's just and then, like I say, everything that Richard Dunn's was replaced by is half a mile down. That was not even half a mile; it's probably 300 yards down the road. So there's those facilities, swimming pools, gyms, they're all there. So there's so much to be done, but unfortunately we won't do it because of, and I get why, but fuck me.
Yeah.
Someone asked what's game of the season. Hannah, what's yours? What's your game of the season?
Wrexham.
It's got to be 5-0, hasn't it? It's got to be.
Only because the gap between what I was expecting and what we ended up with was such I was expecting to get absolutely spanked, and that
you were expecting to pump Sutton, but you weren't expecting to pump Wrexham.
Yeah, and I think the Sutton one was after that, wasn't it, as well? But the Wrexham one, it was just so far from what I was expecting to happen that I just most of the time was just there completely slack-jawed and just.
It's gonna be really interesting to see how they put that on that documentary.
It might. Well, I mean, you could argue it's not really part of the story. Although I was reading something the other day and it said that after that defeat, Rob McElhenney messaged Parky and said, like, we're all behind you. And you know, he massively appreciated that, and kind of sees parallels with that and their support at the end of the season when things are going well. So maybe, I mean, it was a bit of a shot to the system, I think. But then they had, you know, the MK Dons on the opening day of the season was a bit of a shock as well. They've
100%. That 5-3 was it?
I can't remember.
I think it was 5-3. Harry's game of the season, Mansfield 4-1 against MK. I think mine's against MK possibly as well. 4-0 at home. Oh, that's a good question. Question for Hannah. Which title have you enjoyed more, National League or League Two?
100% League Two. National League, it felt like the stakes were so much higher. And although I've been kind of anxious over the last kind of couple of months, nothing like how I was at the end of that season when the wheels started to come off a little bit. So we lost to Grimsby, we lost to Yeovil. There was a Solihull game where Paddy talked about this beaver kind of sneaky ball into the net. That was Sophie and Charlotte's first ever county game. And then we lost to Boreham Wood. And it just felt like it was kind of slipping away. We'd had this like 10-point lead. And Wrexham were, and oh god, and then we lost to Wrexham massively, with like, don't know, a couple of games to play or something. So no, this last season I really enjoyed because it didn't feel like there was any kind of expectation. Would have been happy with mid-table. Yeah, nothing more than that. And then this season's just felt a little bit surreal. It's gone incredibly quickly. It is Glenn Taylor Day.
Why? What is Glenn Taylor Day? Because this has been so. I've seen this a few times today.
So the 18-19 season, when we went up from National League North, Glenn Taylor scored for Spennymoor. Oh god, I can't even remember who he scored against, but basically it meant that we were promoted. So Glenn Taylor has become one of those players that's never played for Stockport County, that like he's been on the pitch like at half time and
but so, never played.
Today, never played for County, no. So today is Glenn Taylor Day.
Another Stockport County 5, Wrexham 0. Harry's top 5 is Mansfield, MK, Mansfield Accrington, Notts Mansfield, Mansfield Accrington, and Notts Mansfield. Not the 5-0 against Bradford. Surely that's up there. I do have an update, Hannah. So,
wasn't it 5-1?
Do you know the? Did we score?
I think you did, didn't you?
Yeah, we did score. Cookie scored. So there's a Mansfield fan that this entire season's been giving me shit, and I've ignored him for the most part in DMs, and he's actually just sent me a message. I would like to apologise. Are you ready for this? I thought you were one of the most irritating Twitter pages for League Two. However, I've just found that Wrexham account. You have been well beaten. And I just went, I accept your apology. We are all in this fight with Wrexham together.
I am not. I am there in peace and conciliation and solidarity.
She's not.
She hates them.
Hannah doesn't like Deadpool either. She's a DC girl. She thinks that
there it hurts, Liam. Go on.
Yeah, she thinks that Batman would kick the fuck out of Captain America. Yeah. Do you know what? I'll agree on this actually, Paul. I think overall for the season, that Swindon Wrexham game, without a shadow of a doubt, game of the season. That what went on in that game was just ridiculous. The comeback was ridiculous. The manner in which Swindon turned up and just basically, I think, shocked you guys because you'd built, the racecourse to be this kind of fortress and a place where people didn't want to come to, and Swindon just turned up and went, nah, fuck that.
Yeah, and I remember and honestly, it was that result that meant that, and I've talked about this a lot, the 5-0 game at Edgeley Park. That's why I was never really kind of happy with it or comfortable with it, because it followed like a couple of weeks after that, and I knew that Wrexham back in them.
Even at 4-0, you weren't happy, you weren't ready to accept it.
No.
It's better, and again, the retiring of Ben Foster.
Yeah. Ben
Foster got Jake Young. I love that. Can you know? I'm going to get that up. Actually, I'm going to get it up whilst we're still talking, Hannah.
I don't know what Liam's just like. I don't know what he's doing. At what point did I realise County was going to go up? The end of the Colchester game, and I did not. So there's, you have all the songs, don't you? Like When We Were in Promotion and the Now You're Going to Believe Us, and the Now You're Going to Believe Us song didn't kind of, it made me really uncomfortable until I think it was Notts County was the first time that I kind of sang along with it. Because I'm not one for tempting fate.
No, I agree. I was trying to sort out a logo then, and it didn't work, Hannah. Oh, there we are. There he is. There's Jake.
Oh, in his t-shirt.
And his You Just Got Jake Young. Yeah, so I'm just going to try and... Yeah, it's not working like I thought it would, if I'm absolutely honest with you. But Jake Young, and I'm still so happy that he got this t-shirt. All right, here we go. I can show you now. You ready?
No, now he's got us over him. Now he's got me. That's not helpful either. No.
Why are we still there? Hannah, what's happened? Right.
I don't know.
Right, 1 second. Here.
Oh.
What a guy. Another guy that I think he's going to have a big say in. Do
you think you'll keep him?
Yeah. We've got at least another year with him. We've got an option as well. He wants to be here. He wants to play at Bradford. He said himself like he really wants to show what he can do at Bradford. He doesn't feel like he's had a chance to do so yet. He's had surgery. So
is he back on grass yet? Back training? Yeah.
I don't know if he's back on grass. I know he's back training, light training, but
right.
You know, we're going to get a full preseason out of him. Last season he was frozen out of the preseason camp, and I felt so bad for him. I was at we played a preseason friendly on a Tuesday, and then a day later the youth team played a preseason friendly against Bradford Park Avenue, and he played in that. And like I went to it, and it was like the thing is, you could see how that's when I think from me looking from the outside in, I kind of saw a problem because Harry Lewis was there, Ryan East was there. They were all there to watch him and to support him.
Yeah.
And it was like they didn't want to see him frozen out like this. And then he was basically, he was like the senior player there. He played 60. He played an hour to about 45 minutes to 60 minutes. I'm not sure how long. I don't know if he came out at halftime or just after, but he then came and sort of stood with us up in the press bit, and we were all up there talking, and you could just see how not defeated he was, because he has like a really good attitude, but how he felt. And then they went to Spain and just left him. And then they did everything they could to send him to Crawley. And you know, I'll talk about what, if that's for another day, about what the Crawley negotiations were, because those are something that needs to be looked at in depth and analysed as to how that happened. Like Jason, sorry, like Charlie said, they want him gone. Yeah, they did want him gone, but he went and did what he did. That's the making of Mark Hughes. Is that for me? That showed Mark Hughes up this season. The fact that he went and Jake Young went and scored 16 goals in the first half of the season. So, well, look, we've had a long show tonight, Hannah.
I know. I've not had my tea yet.
I've had mine. I'm quite liking baby food. I don't mean baby food, but I mean like cooking for the baby and just making extra.
I used to get. Do they still have Ella's Kitchen, right? Ella's Kitchen pouches.
Oh yeah.
So I used to get the peach one and then put it with prosecco.
I see. I'm not done that. I don't do the pouches, Hannah. I'm talking about like making her food from scratch and just making myself some too.
Oh, bless you.
I'm not eating baby pouches.
Charlie, I'm having Christmas dinner.
But yet she doesn't have Christmas dinner on Christmas Day.
No, I'm having steak.
Oh, yeah. Hannah has steak on Christmas dinner, guys. And that's another conversation to have. On behalf of Mansfield fans, thank you, Liam, for your words today. It's been incredible. I feel like I've done like a public service without actually meaning to, which is brilliant. I haven't even dared to check my message requests.
I checked it earlier on. It wasn't bad.
All right, we'll be all right then. Well, we're all good. We got what else?
No. We shall reconvene next Monday to review the last proper round of football. We'll know then who's going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And
then we're doing a 606 after the season ends, where we want someone from each club to come on and tell us what they need to do this summer to progress to where they believe they need to be at the end of next season. And then I'm waiting for you to flash that one up on screen, Hannah. Yeah,
he sent it twice. After the day I've had, Ian, I'll text you my response.
Hannah, will you be singing along with Stars on Saturday?
So I'm no longer allowed to sing that song because I sang it at Chesterfield in 2022, and I was very heavily featured on BT Sport, and my children saw me singing that song, and it was a very awkward conversation.
What game was that?
Chesterfield.
Which Chesterfield? What, the one where you were promoted?
No, it was. So what happened was I think we won 1-0 as a Paddy Manning penalty, and Wrexham either lost but it was like right at the very last minute, and it was one of those where it comes through. And we heard Wrexham's result because it was when it was getting towards the end of the season. And yeah, it was not ideal.
I found it.
Yeah.
I'll watch it. I'll find you.
It's right at the end. But they were like, "Mummy, what are you singing?" Like, no, it's fine.
No, you don't have to explain that.
Yeah. But they, I don't know. I mean, it will be sung 100%. Like even Charlie was talking about it in the pre-game thing about like how he was going to get some stick on Saturday, and so yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
But
we're just forcing a rivalry. So there you go. Yeah, and it's a one-sided rivalry. Only one team.
Yeah, absolutely. No one at Wrexham cares about Stockport. So.
Yeah. Charlie's just made a point there that we've got that to come as well. Sitting there waiting for players to sign and things like that. And I remember the Cookie situation. But I was quite lucky in a sense of I knew he'd signed. So I was like, the pressure was off for me. I wasn't worrying. And then there was all these rumours that he was going to Stevenage, and Stevenage fans were talking. They were posting team sheets with him in it of how he would fit into the squad. And I remember sitting there thinking, you've got fucking no idea. You've got absolutely no idea. And then they announced his 3-year, and it was beautiful.
I'm excited for the transfer window. Just generally, I'm not just county stuff. I just really enjoy it.
We've got deadline day as well to look forward to.
Oh yeah, because I missed the January one in the end.
Did you?
Yeah. It's in the dark days.
Oh yeah.
My sabbatical.
Oh, it was right after it. It was 2 days after it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the world came crashing down. No, it didn't. But no, look, guys. Ian said.
Hey, we've said me and Stace are gonna like skip around the racecourse holding hands and braiding each other's hair.
I think that'd be funny. And just that Charlie Carlisle fans think that they're getting Halliday. By the way, yeah. I won't say nothing on that. situation with Brad Halliday. Yeah. A Chal meltdown on deadline day. Here we go. Yes, we love a good Chal meltdown on deadline day. We've had one the last 3 deadline days. It's been awesome.
When Adelaide, it's not called Adelaide. How do they pronounce it? No, I know that's
Adelican.
Adelican, yeah. When he doesn't sign and goes to somewhere else.
Yeah. Look, it's got Charlie on strings now. No chance we don't keep Brad. Oh, you don't say that. What do you mean? not doing this again. I was in bits when Lewis went. Liam. The thing is, what Charlie, when Harry Lewis went, I text Charlie. It was like 11 o'clock on the night after game, and I was like, something's not right here.
I remember, yeah, because he say goodbye to, oh, thanks for everything, or
it's been lovely knowing you.
Yeah.
And because I was in the Derby end walking around, I thought he meant, oh, you're going to get the shit kicked out of you or something. And then I sort of looked, and I like the look on his face, and he walked away, and I was like, oh, and then sort of went, something's not right here. And then I text Charlie, and I was like, I think Harry Lewis is gone. And then, the next morning it was like rumours to Carlisle. I was like, oh, shit. Yeah. I mean, a good thing I will say is that Jake Young turned down Carlisle.
He did?
Fucking beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Is the thing, did I blink twice, Hannah? I didn't even fucking... It's done me dirty! It's done me dirty!
Your computer's like telling tales on you. Shit, yeah. all these silences are going to be great on Spotify.
Yeah, I know. So again, are the League One fans welcome on the next deadline day? Anyone's welcome on deadline day space. It's all good fun.
One, Harry.
You can't. I'll need you on this one.
Well, can do both. Can have like a crossover.
Yeah, we'll do a joint one.
Yeah.
It's always a bit of a laugh.
There was something more to.
Well, that's actually. So, do you know what we just mentioned about the 606, where people come on and talk about what they need to do as a season, for the summer for the season, and then we say we want them to come back at the end of the window. We'll combine that. We'll do that on the deadline day night. Deadline day. Where are you at? What do you need tonight? If not, where do you see yourself finishing?
Yeah, because we'll do that. Lots of teams that are kind of rebuilding, it doesn't happen at the end. Because they've been off to Spain for pre-season and they've done whatever else. It's less frantic, I think, than January to a certain extent.
Yeah, much. Yeah, there's so much more time that goes into it.
That probably made me laugh.
League One fans allowed on the 606. Calm down, Harry. It's only a 1-season loan. Halliday out for El Keldin. Watch along tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to the game yet, Ian.
I'm not, because I've got no car, so I'll totally do it if not. Although my iFollow does put me about 5 minutes behind.
Oh, so does ours.
The live one. Yeah, I know, but last time I was behind you, wasn't I? By about another 2
minutes.
Yeah,
we were all behind last time. It was quite funny.
But yes, let's do that, because I'll watch it anyway and flick between that and Donny Colchester.
Well, there'll be a watch along tomorrow then. I might be on it. I might not be on it. Depends if I go or not. If I go, I'll see you on TV.
Oh, I've got my Wrexham disguise haircut tomorrow as well. Oh no, if it's on the 606, no one will see it anyway.
That's a good point.
I'm having like significant haircut, so no one will recognise me on Saturday, and I'll be able to exist peacefully in the bars of Wrexham undercover.
Yeah, I think if you wear that hat and t-shirt.
Well, yeah, the hat's enormous though. Like, so I mean, yeah.
I mean, it still gives away that it's you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I was going to dye the ends of my hair blue because I'm having so much cut off it that I was like, I could just cut it all off. It'd be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah. So if you see me on Saturday, be nice to me. And if you can't be nice, you didn't see me.
Yeah, that's a good point. Hannah's getting the Grant cut.
Why has Grant had a haircut? I'm not spoken to Grant for it.
Grant's got short back and hair off everywhere.
No, it's not that. It's not even that dramatic. But
Grant's hair plays a 4-0-6 formation. Grant's.
Right.
Right. So thank you very much.
Some of us will see you tomorrow. Shut up, Harry. I wasn't.
Hannah put the main tweet out this morning. See you later, guys.
Bye.